it's JC.
Hi, it's Hannah.
Hi, it's Craig.
Hi, it's Diego.
Hi, it's Eileen.
And you're listening to CHMA.
Hey, this is Heather from Sackville, and you're listening to CHMA.
The time is 9 o'clock and you are listening to CHMA 106.9 FM.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements.
This is Clinton Davis with your CHMA local news. Back in December, a Sackville educator was one of only 5 Canadians flown to Ottawa to meet the Prime Minister, be recognized nationally, and presented an award of excellence. The award recognized their leadership in early childhood education and the implementation of play-based learning at Play School Inc. Daycare in Sackville. According to some rough calculations, there are approximately 300,000 Canadians in early childhood education, and of those between 100 to 120,000 who qualified for this recognition. Alison Butcher was the recipient of the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Early Childhood Education for 2025. She says her approach to teaching has shifted over time.
So I started here at Play School in 2003. Every year you learn a little more, I think, and you get a little better. And I discovered throughout my work here that connections with the children is what is really important. It's about a journey together.
Butcher graduated from the Nova Scotia Teachers College in 1989 and has worked in early childhood education across Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Ontario, including in school systems and home-based daycare. Butcher says she knew she had been nominated for the award by parents and families in the community, but she didn't expect the call she received 8 months later.
I was in my garden and I received a call from the Prime Minister's office, and it was this lovely person telling me that I'd been awarded the Award of Excellence. And it was the most disconcerting feeling because I knew about the possibility and then really didn't think much more about it.
Butcher says her reaction surprised even herself.
I was kind of surprised at how strong my reaction was. I had this exciting information, and of course at that time they said there will be a press release later, so you can tell a couple of people, but this is not for public knowledge yet. And there I was sitting on the most exciting thing ever. I called my daughter, who was away at university, and she could hear the emotion in my voice.
Despite the individual recognition, Butcher says the award reflects the work of her entire team. So you felt more of the representative of what everyone here has accomplished together as a group?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I am a part of a team here, and we together make Play School a better place. And a lot of the fabulous things that happen here don't happen because they were my suggestion or my idea. We work as a team. My coworker, Crystal Allen, she and I have been working together for 15 years, and I am a better educator because of her.
A key part of that work is play-based learning. Butcher says it begins with observing what children are interested in and building learning opportunities from there.
What we want is for children to find joy and experience things in a positive manner. And through that, they will learn things. What we do as the educators in this space is we watch what the children are doing and where they're at developmentally. And
she shared an example of how that works in practice.
So we created a logging center, and we had all kinds of straws that were the logs and all kinds of trucks that had the load wouldn't fit, and a bunch of scissors so they could cut the logs to fit in the trucks to then bring them over to the barge. And all of a sudden this little guy was cutting, and then we introduced some other things into that area and that play-based thing.
Butcher says early childhood education is about much more than academic skills.
You know, knowing how to interact with your peers and get your shovel back on the playground, or, how to negotiate and interact, and having the vocabulary to describe what's happened or what is upsetting you. Those are the things that we need to help children learn here in order to be successful in school. And if they're learning how to spell their name and all of the, early things for reading, that's great too. But the big things that are important here are social skills, being without their family and being comfortable and happy and emotionally regulate and be able to interact with their peers.
And understanding behavior is also essential.
Why is this child doing this? And what can we do to assist him with learning a more socially acceptable way of doing this particular thing or getting this need met? And making connections with everyone, not just the easy ones, has been the most gratifying. Because those little schoolified kids who are going to come in here and, they love to sit in the corner and read a book, or they love to do all of the schoolification stuff, that's great. But it's the other ones that are maybe not being as successful in their forays into socializing and interacting with their peers.
As part of the award, Butcher spent 4 days in Ottawa with 18 educators from across the country.
It was wonderful to be recognized.
She said it was nice.
4 days of being treated like you're amazing is pretty fabulous, I have to say. But what was really exciting was that we all do the same thing. Whether you are teaching 4-year-olds or 14-year-olds, whether you are teaching chemistry or Indigenous studies or general education at a elementary level, we all work with people with personalities, and it was really incredible to listen to all of these other educators and learn that we're all a lot more similar than our differences. We all teach. So, that was my big takeaway.
She also had the chance to meet Prime Minister Mark Carney.
So we had an award ceremony where we received our certificates. He did not give us the certificates. He had about a 45-minute window of time, and he made the choice, or so I was told, to come to a meet and greet afterwards rather than giving us the certificates. And he chose to come after and actually have time to interact with us, chat with us, learn about us. And he was very personable, and I enjoyed the time speaking with him. It just was kind of icing on the cake.
And you're a politician. Did that not come up?
No,
really?
It did not come up.
Okay.
I wear different hats. I was there with wearing the hat of an educator receiving an award. So no, that was not something that I was chatting with him about. We were talking about education.
Looking ahead, Butcher says the most important thing for educators is remembering the importance in continuing to foster a love for learning.
What we are learning as educators across the board is that by meeting children or students, learners where they're at, and doing something that brings them joy and is meaningful is a better way for them to learn.
For the children and for themselves.
Try to realize right away that you are not the one with all the answers, and that you need to keep learning. Like we're doing professional development today. There are so many things to learn, and you will learn as much from the children as you will from the courses you take. But to remember that connections and conversations with children and meeting them and discussing with them, meeting at their level, is going to enrich their lives and your lives more than just thinking of them as someone that you are providing information to.
Again, Alison Butcher is one of 5 educators nationally to receive the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Early Childhood Education this year. A big congratulations. And for CHMA News, I'm Clinton Davis.
And here is your CHMA Atlantic update for January the 9th. Police in New Brunswick are asking for the public's help as they investigate a violent home invasion in Moncton. RCMP say that on December 26, 2 men broke into a home on McSweeney Avenue where one resident was assaulted before the pair fled the scene. Investigators say local residents should check footage from surveillance cameras to determine if they recorded any suspicious activity between 2:15 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. on Boxing Day. Police are also asking anyone who was driving in the area during the time to review their dash cam footage. And police in Western PEI are investigating the death of a man who was struck by a vehicle in North Bedeque. RCMP say a 64-year-old victim was hit by the vehicle yesterday as he was walking along Route 1A at 6:30 a.m. He later died at hospital. The man's name has not been released, but the Mounties confirmed he was from Prince County. The federal government says 25 banned firearms were collected and destroyed during a 6-week trial run of its buyback program in Nova Scotia. Public Safety Canada says the pilot project in Cape Breton showed that clearer and more timely instructions are required to ensure the participation of firearm owners. Since May 2020, Ottawa has outlawed more than 2,500 types of guns, including the AR-15, on the basis they belong only on the battlefield. Ottawa has budgeted more than $700 million for the buyback. Members of Newfoundland and Labrador's new Progressive Conservative government visited an area devastated by wildfires earlier this year. The Cabinet Committee was in Conception Bay North, where fires destroyed over 200 structures. The province says the committee was due to meet with a disaster recovery group representing the unincorporated communities affected by the fire. It also met with the municipal council representing the amalgamated towns that were affected. And Canada Post says freezing rain and severe conditions prevented workers from delivering mail in Corner Brook and Stephenville yesterday. The service suspension included mail collection. The corporation says delivery will resume when conditions improve. And the Nova Scotia government has announced a new action plan it says will improve equity and community safety for LGBTQ plus people. It includes a commitment to boost funding and improve the application process for transgender and non-binary people seeking gender-affirming care. The government is also promising to advance training for police and corrections and victim services staff in order to reduce bias and improve the safety of LGBTQ plus Nova Scotians. Lisa LeBlanc says the NDP says the action plan is long overdue, as queer Nova Scotians have been speaking up for years about issues like safe housing and lack of employment support. And that's your CHMA Atlantic Update. Be right back with some weather.
Hi, I'm Jin, and you're listening to CHMA.
Okay, let's take a look at Environment Canada for today. Looks like we are in for a bunch of freeze and rain coming up. A mix of sun and cloud today, but becoming cloudy later in the afternoon with the chance of rain showers and flurries. Risk of freezing rain. Wind is up to 40. The high is +2. Wind chill is -14. For tonight, cloudy, 30% chance of rain showers or flurries this evening. Periods of rain beginning in the evening. Risk of freezing rain later in the evening as well. I've kind of reiterated that a bunch of times. Rainfall amount about 5 millimeters and temperature rising to +5 by Saturday morning. On Saturday, periods of rain ending in the morning and then clearing. Wind southwest 20 gusting to 40. High of 7 with the temperature falling to +2 in the afternoon. Cloudy on Saturday night with a low of -4. On Sunday, periods of snow, high of -2. Sunday night, snow or freezing rain with a low of -5. For Monday the 12th, snow with a high of -3. And Monday night, cloud with a 30% chance of flurries and a low of -8. A mix of sun and cloud and a high of -3 on Tuesday. Cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries and a low of -5 on Tuesday night. Cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries on Wednesday with a high of +1. 60% chance of flurries on Wednesday night with a low of -5. And finally, cloudy with a 60% chance of flurries and a high of -4 on Thursday. And that is your CHMA weather update.
Hey, this is Sound Curator from Keith Radio, and you are now listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And here's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update.
Last night in the Fiesta Bowl, it was the University of Miami Hurricanes in a back-and-forth fourth quarter with the Ole Miss Rebels defeating the Rebels 31-27 after a last-second Hail Mary flies out of the back of the end zone and means the Miami Hurricanes, the U, will be going to play the winner of tonight's game between the Oregon Ducks and the Indiana Hoosiers for the United States College Football Playoff. In other sports, 3 games in the association last night saw the Indiana Pacers defeat the Charlotte Hornets 114-112. Timberwolves at home defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers 131-122. And it was the Utah Jazz holding on for the 2-point victory over the visiting Dallas Mavericks 116-114. A full slate of NHL games to tell you about last night. Beginning in downtown Montreal, where the Canadiens defeated the visiting Florida Panthers 6-2. The Boston Bruins were on the right side of a 4-1 decision over the Calgary Flames. Detroit Red Wings, they're a 5-1 victors over the Vancouver Canucks. The Buffalo Sabres keep charging up the standings. They defeat the New York Rangers on the road 5-2. It took overtime for the Maple Leafs to get past the Philadelphia Flyers 2-1. Penguins with a 4-1 victory over the New Jersey Devils. The Carolina Hurricanes defeat the visiting Anaheim Ducks 5-1. It took a shootout for the Nashville Predators to squeak past the New York Islanders, a 2-1 final there in Nashville. The Oilers defeat the Jets in downtown Winnipeg at the Canada Life Center 4-3 final. It was the Colorado Avalanche dumping it all over the Ottawa Senators. They defeat the squad from the capital 8-2. Las Vegas Golden Knights 5-3 victors over the visiting Columbus Blue Jackets. And the late game that went even later out at Climate Pledge Arena saw the Minnesota Wild defeat the Seattle Kraken 3-2 in overtime. And sticking with hockey last night at home, it was the Tantramar Regional High School girls squad falling to the visitors from Bernice McNaughton. 3-1 final there. Victoria Noonan was the only woman to score for the Titans in the third period.
And that's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. Please be sure to check out Brian's show on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. for more sports commentary. All right, well, let's get into some community updates. And that's what we do around this time. So let's go take a look at the Tantramar Municipality socials. They have released a press release regarding the Sackville Fire and Rescue operations. And this is regarding the recent incident where 12 Sackville Fire and Rescue members returned their municipal-issued equipment and provided correspondence to Tantramar's Chief Administrative Officer, Jennifer Bourne. So they have that posted on their socials if you want to go ahead and check that out for more information regarding that situation. Continuing on, the climate change Tantramar Climate Change Advisory Committee is hosting a public information session next Wednesday, January 14th, and this is where NB Power will be present to give out information on the proposed Riggs gas plant and respond directly to questions from the public. The meeting gives residents the opportunity to hear directly from NB Power and ask questions in a respectful, structured setting. So again, that's Wednesday, January 14th, 7 p.m., Crabtree Auditorium on the campus of Mount Allison. Doors open at 6:15. And if you have any questions about that or anything, you can contact the Tantramar Climate Change Advisory Committee at ccactantramar@gmail.com. There's some information there. The Tantramar Civic Center is up and running for a prize to get some new fixins on the Civic Center. They're running for Craft Hockeyville, and if they win, it could get up to $250,000 for facility improvements. You can run over to hockeyville.craftheinz.com and search for Tantramar Civic Center, and they're asking that you share a story, a photo, or a reaction to what the rink means to you. And also just a quick reminder that the Christmas tree collection is coming up for Tantramar starting on January the 12th. And they ask that you remove all decorations, lights, tinsel, and the tree stand and place your tree curbside by the end of your regular collection day. And also note that Winterfest is coming up on February the 5th. Running over to the CHMA calendar, I can remind you, just knowing well, that the Crown of Winterfest is still up for nomination, I believe. Got to double check that. But some other things, the Sackville Farmers Market is on tomorrow, of course, and the regular council meeting next week on the 13th, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Ultimate Winter Frisbee registration is open. There is a Pratt lecture from Jackson Two Bears at the Purdy Crawford Center for the Arts in the Moiter Fancy Theater. That's going to be Tuesday at 7 p.m. And there's a dot painting workshop on the 15th down at the Painted Pony put on by DaudibleMandalas.com. So, And also Bagtown doing their trivia next Wednesday. Duckies not doing their trivia next Thursday because they'll be doing it the one after that. And the Film Society next week is Sentimental Value over at the Amherst Theatre. Now you're updated. Let's get in a couple of more and then start up the music machine. Do you know a senior who's gone above and beyond for their community? Do you know someone who helps others, volunteers their time, and makes Tantramar a better place simply because they care? The municipality of Tantramar wants to hear from you. Help them choose the next crown of Winterfest by submitting a nomination. Nomination forms are online at www.tantramarnb.com/winterfest, or you can pick one up at the municipal office at 31C Main Street here in Sackville. The deadline for submissions is January the 28th. Let's celebrate seniors who make our community shine. The next regular council meeting for Tantramar will take place on Tuesday, January 13th at 7 p.m. These monthly council meetings are held in the Municipal Office Council Chambers at 31C Main Street. This is when the council conducts their regular business and is also open to the public. Regular council meetings are also open to the public to make presentations to council. Interested individuals and groups are asked to submit a written request to the clerk's office no later than 7 calendar days prior to the meeting in order to be confirmed for a 5-minute presentation at an upcoming agenda subject to availability. Visit tantramarnb.com for more information. And that was your CHMA News. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantramar's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com.
On weekdays at 1 p.m., Democracy Now! Produces a daily global independent news hour hosted by award-winning journalists Amy Goodman and Juan Gonzalez. Tune in to listen to a diversity of voices speaking for themselves, providing a unique and sometimes provocative perspective on global events.
All right, let's get into some music. We mentioned Cat Power earlier, played the song Try Me, I believe it was called. But yeah, we also mentioned that it's the 20th anniversary of The Greatest. So Old Man Ludica did a cover with Willa Owen of The Greatest, title track off that album. So we're going to play that right now. Also have Momentarily from Kai and Oolong and Kessie Blue, as well as we're going to play, no, we're going to put a pause on that one. We'll play Living Hour with Texting, and that'll take us to the 9:30 mark, which is the end of the morning show. I will be back again at 12. And earlier we were talking about shows, and I forgot to mention that Ben Place has moved. No, actually, you know what? I think I did. But anyhow, East Coast Kickoff with the Ben Place was on Friday afternoons, moved to 11. So we'll have Ben up at 11 a.m. today. This is Old Man Ludica with Willa Owen and The Greatest. And then we'll have Kai and Oolong, Kessie Blue with Momentarily here on The Voice of the Marshes. Thanks for joining me this morning. I am James Anderson. I will be back at 12, and I'll get you through your noon hour into Democracy Now! Here we go.
Once I wanted to be the greatest. No wind or waterfall could stall me. Then came the rush of the flood. Stars at night turned deep to dust, melt me down in big black armor. Leave no trace of grace, just in your honor. Lower me down to culprit south. Make 'em wash a space in town for the lead and the dregs of my bed I've been sleeping. Lower me down, pin me in, secure the grounds for the later parade. Once I wanted to be the greatest, 2 fists of solid little rock with brains that could explain any feeling. Lower me down, pin me in, secure the grounds for the lead and the dregs in my bed. I've been sleeping for the later parade. Once I wanted to be the greatest. No wind or waterfall could stall me. And then came the rush of the flood. Stars at night turned deep to dust.